What if I told you that people don't stop chasing you because you're not beautiful, smart, or interesting enough, but because you made yourself too predictable? You text first, you over-explain, you always make yourself available, and in that process, you unknowingly kill the one thing that makes humans addicted, the unknown. The truth is, people don't chase love. They chase emotion. They chase curiosity. They chase what feels like a puzzle they can't yet solve. And if you've ever wondered why you do everything right, you're kind, loyal, emotionally available, and still people lose interest, it's not because you're doing too little. It's because you're doing too much. Before we go deeper, pause for a second and ask yourself, are you tired of always being the one who tries harder? If your answer is yes, then hit subscribe right now, because on this channel, Psych Rhythm, we don't chase love, we understand it. We break down the psychology behind power, attraction, and emotional control, the things that actually make people stay. And stay with me till the end, because I'll share the real secret, the exact psychological trigger that flips the dynamic and makes people chase you naturally, without games or manipulation. Most people never hear this truth, and that's why they keep losing power and love. Let's start with the psychology behind the chase. The human brain is wired for uncertainty. When the outcome is unpredictable, it releases a neurotransmitter called dopamine, the same chemical that fuels addiction. Every time we're not sure if we'll get what we want, our brain gets hooked on trying again. This is called the reward prediction error, and it's the same mechanism casinos use to make people gamble endlessly. You don't know if you'll win or lose, but the thrill of maybe keeps you playing. Now think about relationships. When someone doesn't know where they stand with you, not because you're playing games, but because you're emotionally centered, their mind stays alert. You become a mystery they want to solve. But the moment you give them full certainty, replying instantly, always explaining, always being there, you remove the dopamine loop. And without dopamine, there's no thrill. Without thrill, there's no chase. Without chase, there's no attraction. That's why emotional control, not looks, not charm, not even love, is what keeps people drawn to you. Now, I know this sounds unfair. You think, but shouldn't love be easy? Shouldn't we be open and honest? Of course. But too much exposure kills curiosity. In psychology, this is known as the law of diminishing returns. The more frequently you consume something, the less value your brain assigns to it. You can love chocolate, but if you eat it every day, it stops feeling special. The same happens with attention. When your attention is too easy to access, it loses its worth. So, the goal isn't to withhold affection, it's to restore value to your energy. You do that by becoming more selective, not in an arrogant way, but in a self-respecting way. Here's where people get it wrong. They confuse detachment with disinterest. They think to make someone chase, they must play cold or distant, but that's not true. People chase warmth wrapped in mystery, not ice. When you're calm, confident, and emotionally grounded, you create tension, a subtle sense of curiosity that says, I feel something here, but I can't fully read it. That curiosity is the spark of attraction. Philosophically, this connects back to what Nietzsche called the will to power, the human instinct not just to love or be loved, but to influence and feel alive. When you don't need others to define you, you become powerful. When your world doesn't collapse around one person's attention, you gain something magnetic, self-command. People don't chase people, they chase energy. And the rarest energy today is peace. Let's talk science again. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people are more attracted to individuals who show a balance of warmth and autonomy, meaning they connect emotionally but also hold their own boundaries. That's the sweet spot, what I call the pull and peace effect. You're approachable but not easily swayed. You're kind but not desperate. You're emotionally expressive, but you don't perform to be liked. That's the modern version of power, not dominance, not manipulation, but quiet certainty. And yet so many of us give it away too soon. We explain every feeling, justify every reaction, chase every closure. We try to prove that we're enough, that we care, that we're loyal. But here's the truth. The more you prove, the less they feel, because the emotional brain reads overexposure as lack of value. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people texting you. One always replies instantly, sends long messages, always available. The other replies when they can, but when they do, it's thoughtful, concise, and emotionally aware. Whose attention feels more special? Exactly, the second one, because rarity creates worth. And here's something eye-opening. Even social media runs on the same principle. Instagram and TikTok don't show you every post immediately. They control the flow. Why? Because your brain stays hooked when you don't know what's coming next. So, if an algorithm understands human psychology better than we do, it's time we learn the same. When you don't give everything at once, your availability, your emotions, your plans, you create a rhythm of curiosity. That rhythm becomes attraction. That attraction becomes a chase. But here's where it gets deep, because the real chase doesn't happen between people. It happens inside you. The moment you stop chasing others for validation, your energy changes. Your focus shifts from, how do I make them like me, to, do I even like how they treat me? That's the shift from the chaser to the chooser. In philosophy, this echoes the Stoic idea of inner control, that true freedom begins the moment you stop depending on external outcomes. When you let go of needing approval, you become untouchable. That's not arrogance, that's peace. And ironically, that peace makes people chase you harder because calm energy is rare in a world addicted to reaction. If you're enjoying this breakdown, you'll love our video on emotional detachment, because emotional detachment isn't about not caring, it's about not collapsing. Check out our videos on it. That video connects directly to what we're discussing today. The link is in the description. Watch them after this one, they'll complete the puzzle of emotional power. Now stay till the end, because the final section, the art of emotional pull, will change how you see relationships forever. Let's talk about that pull. The art of emotional pull isn't about pretending to be busy, it's about truly having a life worth being curious about. When you're fulfilled, when you're pursuing your goals, growing your mind, exploring your passions, your presence automatically becomes more valuable. You don't need to act mysterious. Your life is interesting because it's rich in meaning. That's what psychologists call self-expansion theory. People are attracted to partners who expand their sense of self, someone who brings novelty, growth, or challenge. So when you're constantly learning, evolving, creating, you naturally become the kind of person others want to chase, because chasing you feels like chasing growth. Here's the paradox. When you stop trying to impress people, you start to inspire them, because confidence without noise is hypnotic, and stillness in a world of chaos, that's power. Every time you hold back from over-explaining, you're sending a silent message. I trust myself enough not to need your validation, and that message speaks louder than any words. So yes, let them wonder a little. Let them question a little. Let them earn your energy. Because real love is not a marathon you run to prove your worth. It's a dance of mutual curiosity and respect. And this is what I want you to remember. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. If you want people who chase, not control, become someone who doesn't need to chase for peace. If you want people who see your worth, start by acting like your worth is non-negotiable. That's what emotional power looks like. That's what maturity feels like. It's not being cold, it's being calm. It's not detachment from love, it's detachment from fear. If this video opened your eyes, if it made you rethink how attraction really works, then don't just scroll away. Hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, What's one thing you've stopped doing that made people start chasing you instead? Your story might inspire thousands who are still stuck in the same cycle. And if you've been the one always chasing, this is your sign to stop, breathe, and remember this. When you move with peace, you create pull. When you stop running, people start noticing. Because the truth is, what's calm is rare, and what's rare is always chased. You don't lose people when you stop chasing them. You lose the ones who were never meant to stay. Thank you for watching. Take care, and see you next time.